What's up YouTube, Capital G here, talking about anime and manga today, but probably not the ones you're thinking of. Have you ever been watching an episode of an anime you like, or reading a manga chapter, and you got a sneaking suspicion that it felt like something you've seen before? Well, you're probably right. The Yu-Gi-Oh franchise is a worldwide juggernaut, and is especially popular in Japan, the home of anime. So it's not surprising that many other anime franchises will occasionally reference or parody Yu-Gi-Oh! And considering Yu-Gi-Oh! Is by far the most popular card-based anime, a lot of creators will pay homage, as it's generally seen as the franchise that catapulted the trading card anime to new heights of popularity and led to the creation of many other shows and franchises. In this video, I'll be listing and ranking some of the best cameos, references, and parodies of Yu-Gi-Oh! And its characters found in other anime and manga. I'll be ranking these off a few criteria, such as how well they nailed the feel of Yu-Gi-Oh!, how blatant or subtle the reference was, and of course creativity, meaning don't expect for all of these to just be dual parodies, because I'll be discussing episodes of these anime and chapters of the manga and running clips associated. A minor spoiler alert is now in effect. Without further ado, welcome to the top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! References and other anime/manga, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Hierarchy. Number 10, Fairy Tail. Love it or hate it, no one can deny how insanely popular the Fairy Tail anime is. A seemingly never-ending story of the adventures of Natsu, Lucy, my personal favorite Urza, and the rest of the Fairy Tail Guild. Fairy Tail has spawned hundreds of episodes over its near-decade run, with Fairy Tail having such a very high amount of humor in the show. Also being a shonen anime, you'd expect a small Yu-Gi-Oh! Reference or two. How about an entire episode though? Because that's exactly what you got in episode 210, Guild Deck versus Celestial Spirit Deck. The entire episode is basically one giant parody of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel as Kanna and Scorpio face off. The phases like draw, standby, and battle, etc. are taken straight from Yu-Gi-Oh!, as well as life points being the primary win condition of this card game.
About time, too! Cool, so first I draw a card, and then I start my standby phase. I summon Lucy, the Celestial Wizard, and Urza Titania.
Just tell me what to stab.
We are here to help. Time for my battle sequence. Juvia, I need you to take out Virgo.
Right!
You might think that an entire episode devoted to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Reference would rank higher on this list, but for me, the episode got a little too convoluted and complicated for its own good, and quite frankly, there are some other anime that will be listed later that did the same premise significantly better. Number 9, No Game No Life. Sometimes less is more, and keeping it simple is best, as is the case here. No Game No Life is a surreal comedy anime about a brother and sister who enjoy virtual reality significantly more than actual reality. After receiving a strange email challenging them to a chess match, everything changes as they're plunged into an otherworldly realm where they meet the god of games. This show, much like a couple of others on this list, is actually full of Easter eggs to other popular anime series like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures and Doraemon. In episode 8, Fake In, the brother-sister duo are trying to decipher the rules of a certain game and how cheating is involved when Sora randomly uses cards to explain the situation to his younger sister.
性質の違う種族すべてに有効。技術の優れた東部連合だけが持つという必勝ゲーム。正解は
These cards are nearly identical in design to a normal monster, ritual monster, and spell cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Even the way Sora holds the cards is very similar to how characters often do in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime series, and when he points at his sister, it's very reminiscent of how Tim did many times in the Yu-Gi-Oh! DM original series. Number 8, Need a Girl. We've all been there before. High school without a girlfriend, having only your bros to depend on in school. Well, this romantic comedy manga about 3 losers looking for a girl might just be the laugh you need if you find yourself in that current predicament. After 3 friends find out that the token serious quiet guy has been secretly dating a beauty for over 3 months, a nice little friendship blossomed. And chapter 32 of the manga, when a teacher who is in less than a good mood hears a phone ringing in class, he pretty much flips out and nearly turns the classroom upside down, trying to figure out which student has the phone. Making the kids empty their bags, he finds digital cameras, foods, mystery novels, and even some Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that are owned by the king of games himself. That's right, not only does Yugimoto apparently attend the school where this manga takes place, but at some point he picked up the Horus deck, it seems. Number 7, Student Council's Discretion. This is actually a reference that a lot of active and former Yu-Gi-Oh players can probably relate to. In episode 2, Student Council Studies, the main cast are hosting a study group in hopes of raising their grades with the upcoming midterm exams approaching. Karimu, the Student Council president, asked for each person there to list their subject of expertise. After Mafuyu was asked what subject she's best at, things quickly break down when Mafuyu says she thinks of classes as scenarios and basically starts using metaphors that are completely Yu-Gi-Oh based.
そうですね。強いて言えば国語ってシナリオだと思います。シナリオ？はい。例えば相手が攻撃を宣言したこの瞬間、トラップカードオープン。手札のマジックカードは全て墓地に捨てられるという文章問題があったとします。
Considering the game's popularity amongst high school kids in Japan, it wouldn't shock me at all if people actually did this in real life. Number 6, Rock Lee and his ninja pals. If you've seen Naruto the original series, Shippuden, or even I guess Boruto at this point, you should have some idea who Rock Lee is. This show is kind of like a Teen Titans Go version of Naruto. Not canon, completely comedy based, and all the characters are chibi. It makes a lot more sense for a Yu-Gi-Oh reference in this series as opposed to the other Naruto shows, but it's actually in the weirdest way. In episode 30, Autumn Shinobi Safety Lessons, Lee, Neji, and Tenten are put in charge of Halloween celebrations for the Hidden Leaf Village, while Sonati focuses on teaching a lot of the other ninjas the importance of safety. This leads into a run-in with Deidara and Tobi Obito, who were of course both members of the Akatsuki. While in costume, they actually have friendly conversations with the Hidden Leaf Shinobi, and in one very strange imaginary situation, Deidara actually envisions himself playing a game of chicken against Tobi. For some strange reason, Deidara and Tobi are both dressed like Yugi and Kaiba from the Battle City arc of the original Duel Monsters series. The entire thing is random as hell, but then again, the entire existence of this show is also random as hell. Number 5, Yokai Watch. This one was pretty unexpected. Yokai Watch is about a young boy named Kaita who's pretty much a typical 11-year-old kid. One day he decides to venture deep into the forest and encounters a small and mysterious capsule. To his surprise, this capsule is actually home to a ghost-like creature who befriends Kaita and gives him a Yokai Watch, which enables him to see and interact with other yokai. Because he's been locked in the capsule for 190 years, it actually makes sense to reward the person who's been nice enough to free you. So nothing so far in this synopsis sounds like it would have anything to do with Yu-Gi-Oh or card games, right? Well, in episode 41, Gourmet School Lunch Meal for Fried Chicken, things definitely become a lot more Yu-Gi-Oh centric.
The goddess of luck in disguise. If this were a game, I would say that I've just drawn the perfect hand! Oh!
While waiting in the lunch line, Kaita, or Nathan in the dub, contemplates the chances of him getting the biggest and best pieces of chicken. After getting what he deems 3 premium pieces, he compares his fantastic luck to drawing the perfect can in a card game. This scene is overflowing with Yu-Gi-Oh references, the dual disc, the way he draws his cards, the fact that his entire outfit is based on a Tem, or Yami, and even the 5 cards drawn describing the perfect can, which is of course how many cards you open with in Yu-Gi-Oh! Number 4, Gintama. There may be a few shows you didn't expect to appear on this list, but Gintama certainly shouldn't be one of them. For one, Gintama is an action comedy that never really takes itself too seriously. Second, Gintama has referenced nearly every damn anime in existence and isn't ashamed to admit it. Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Berserk, Death Note, you name it, and almost certainly our silver-haired samurai has covered it. In episode 162, Love is Unconditional, the final battle between Shinpachi and Hijikata turns out to be a pretty random card duel, and yes, I mean random even by Gintama standards, as the two competitors both enter a boxing ring with boxing gloves before it's announced that they're going to be battling with cards. Shinpachi was especially shocked to learn that they would be card dueling. Of course, this duel is almost identical to the ones that took place during the Duel's Kingdom arc in Yu-Gi-Oh! The monsters have attack and defense points, both players have 2,000 life points, and what makes this parody so especially good is how overly dramatic dramatic it is, and how the announcer gets so far into it even when Shinpachi mistakenly summons the drummer Kim, a monster with no attack, no defense, and no special effects. Number 3, Bobobo Bobobo Bobo. If you've never seen or read Bobobo, you have, in my opinion, honestly done yourself quite the disservice. Bobobo is without a doubt one of the strangest and at the same time most hilarious anime in existence, and the randomness of the show is habitually off the charts. In chapter 104 of the manga, titled Terrifying Sigaraku Battle, Bobobo, Donpachi, Beauty, and the others find themselves forced to play a Monopoly-style board game of death where each party member will roll a die and move a certain amount of spaces based on that roll. In this game, as they progress, the evil Halekulani, who is the final member of the 4 Heavenly Kings, would pay them large amounts of money which turn their souls into diamond. I told you that Bobobo was random as hell, didn't I? If any member's body would fully turn into diamond, they would instantly die, and they had to reach the goal before that occurred. After failing many times to progress, Halekulani reveals that the goal for the finish of the game doesn't actually exist and that they can never win. This leads Bobobo to reveal that he has saved an all-important trump card for a situation just like this. Bobobo's giant afro opens and out comes the Tim, who immediately summons Slifer the Sky Dragon to blast the hell out of Halekulani. It's not just the fitting randomness that makes this scene particularly great, but even how the members react to this. Donpachi quickly asks the Tim for an autograph, while Jelly Jiggler requests a duel with the King of Games. This scene even references how the creator, Yoshiro Sawai, can't illustrate Slifer and a Tim as well as Takahashi. Number 2, Hayate the Combat Butler. This scene was absolutely brilliant from almost every measure. Hayate the Combat Butler is a lighthearted story about the unfortunate 16-year-old Hayate who finds himself owing a huge gambling debt to the Yakuza, you know, the Japanese mafia. In episode 29, Matchmaking Meeting, Kirika, the superintendent of Haku Academy, sends a dual butler to defeat Hayate so that he'd be forced to join her dark butlers. The entire charade is pretty damn hilarious, and the dual butler just kind of shows up out of nowhere and starts the shadow duel with Hayate.
なんですかあなたは。俺の名はデュエル執事。俺のターンドラー。なんです。あれこれは。さあ勝負だ。早崎颯。よくわかりませんが行きますよ。
There's absolutely no warning at all, and Hayate doesn't even understand what's going on at first, but instantly learns how to play the game on the fly. The monsters they summon have attack and defense points, and Hayate even has a quick conversation with his younger, more innocent self, a la Yugi and Tim. The duel finally settles with the dual butler getting OTK'd and falling to the ground as they do often in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. And finally, to our number 1, Akaba's Trip, the animation. The entire premise of this show is outright utterly ridiculous. It features a pair of siblings who are shopping in Japan when suddenly it's overrun by vampiric cosplaying monsters. These monsters are known as the Bug Ones, and long story short, the boy sibling finds himself being saved by a baseball bat-wielding vixen, who he in turn aids in battle. In episode 9, Whoa, I Battled with Game Cards, we get, in my personal opinion, the best and most complete Yu-Gi-Oh parody yet. For starters, before even beginning the duel, Tamotsu, the main character of this show, and his opponent decide to play the game Battle Creatures under the anime rules of 2,000 light points, saying that 4,000 light points would take way too long.
今は先行ドローはないよ。
His opponent also instantly stops him from drawing in his first turn, saying that under the current rules, the player who goes first is not allowed to actually draw, obviously referencing real-life Yu-Gi-Oh card rules. Not only are the monsters they summon hilarious,
僕のターンドロー。僕はデフだからブライトアイズイケメンを召喚。ブライトアイズが召喚された時、デッキから
But they even point out some of Yu-Gi-Oh's dumbest tropes, like when the baseball-wielding Matome points out to Tamatsu that he shouldn't be surprised at all when his opponent reveals that his monster has a second effect because it's written right there on the card.
もう一つの効果って言ってもそれ最初からカードのテキストに書いてあるのよね。そ
それ読めばカード出した時にどんな効果があるかわかるのにどうして今さら驚くわけ？それは言わないお約束でしょ。
Lastly, they top it off with a perfect Heart of the Cards moment where they actually even reference other Yu-Gi-Oh characters like Joey, just like how every time Yugi needs a Heart of the Cards moment, he remembers his friends and, basically gets the perfect card that he needs. So let me know what you guys thought of my list. Were there any other amazing and awesome references in manga or anime that didn't make the cut? And if you would and you just enjoyed this video, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. I've actually been planning on making another video similar to this, but based on kind of like American TV shows, essentially things that are not anime. Let's just shoot for, I don't know, 500 likes. If we get 500 likes, that'll tell me that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll try to start working on that video. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos.